What are the advantages of accurate inventory? You might think, well, geez, that's a dumb question. But it's really important to help the inventory trackers, the pickers, the receivers, to understand. You need to sell it to them. Why is this so important to have accurate inventory? Well, let's start with sales. The sales rep is trying to sell something, but this inventory software says we have more than we actually have. So the sales rep's going to lie to the customer, essentially, and say we can have it in 3 days when really we don't have it at all. That reduces confidence. That may even affect the company's reputation. That makes the customer unhappy, and it results in lost sales, lost future sales, and lost sales we don't even realize we could have sold because that customer didn't talk to his friend about us highly because he didn't get the order that we promised. So that's if we think we have more than we actually have. What if we think we have less than we actually have? That also results in lost sales because the sales rep is going to lie to the customer and say, Mr. Customer, I'm sorry, we don't have that. And the customer will go someplace else to find it when really we had it all along. Oh, so that's an obvious, just bottom line lost sales, right? Now, let's look at it from the production manager's point of view. Let's say we have more than we thought we had. Well, if we don't think we have that much, the production manager is going to schedule production later because in his mind, he's still waiting for it. And production is going to be put off longer. And we've got inventory sitting on the shelf that is taking up space that we could be using that we don't even know we have. Hopefully that draws a clear picture of how that can be bad. How does that affect the bottom line? Well, sales is also short. We're not producing, we're not selling because we're quote unquote waiting for the raw goods so we can produce. Well, what about the opposite? If I'm a production manager and I think I have more than I really don't, I'm going to produce, I'm going to schedule production, all excited to produce, and when it comes around to the pickers picking the inventory, they're going to come to me and blindside me with this news that we don't have it. Well, how does that affect the bottom line? We probably spent hours setting up the machinery, preparing to perform an activity that we can no longer perform. So there's lost labor time, probably hours of it. And of course, if we're looking at this from an MRP perspective, sales thought that it was going to be ready in time and they might have made promises that we can no longer keep. So it'll result in lost sales and lost labor expense. Let's look at this from the purchasing manager's perspective, the procurement officer, whatever you want to call this guy. If we think we have more than we actually don't, we're not going to buy it. We're going to remain short. It's not going to be available to consume in production or ship out the door in sales, and will result in lost sales. If we think we have less than we already have, than we actually have, then we're going to buy more and we're going to end up being overstocked. At the end of the day, if we have this problem, then we're going to lose confidence in our inventory. We're going to lose confidence in our inventory tracking ability. And so oftentimes what I see companies doing is just keeping too much stock, overstocking to solve the problem. Maybe if we just keep too much, as much as we can reasonably afford, then we can solve the problem. But really, the best way to solve the problem is to get your inventory software set up correctly and learn how to use it correctly. Make sure everyone is learning how to use the inventory software correctly and being held accountable to their specific role and responsibility that has been previously clearly defined. That's the solution to inventory inaccuracy problems. Is the right inventory software set up correctly and used correctly. I'm Lance, inventory software expert since 2006. Click like below if you find benefit to this video. Subscribe to hear more inventory software related videos like this. And comment below and tell me about previous horror stories that you've experienced that this video reminded you of.